but you're still a humble guy. You've probably never been criticized more than maybe the past couple of weeks. I don't know how much you pay attention to it, but how do you internalize all that and keep all the outside noise away from you?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the, we talk about it's part of the job. No matter who you are, you're going to face criticism, especially when you don't feel like you're playing your best. And that's just kind of where we're at right now. And, I don't feel like I've played my best the past couple of weeks. And, from my standpoint, it's just every week trying to put the best plan together and prepare the best so I can go and play my best on Sunday. And so that doesn't change this week, no matter what the criticism is, good or bad. When we're playing well, I'm going to get too much credit, and when we're not playing well, when we're losing some games, I'm going to sometimes get too much blame. And sometimes though it's warranted. I know I haven't played my best, so it just is what it is. It's part of the job. It's part of this game. We're fortunate enough to play it, and that's just one of the I guess it's just one of the parts of the game. So for me, it's just always been trying to block that out. Sometimes it's easier than others, but just sticking to my process, what I know, preparing each week the same way. And I got a lot of faith in myself and in this team, and so I just block that out and just try to do my job the best I can every day, and I can do that better, no doubt. And I know moving forward I will. So I got a lot of confidence in that.
Among the things that Doug has probably helped you with is being a former NFL quarterback. Has he helped you with, letting you know that every NFL quarterback deals with this, no matter how good they are? The criticism.
Yeah, that's just like we talked about. Every player deals with it. Obviously it's a different level when you're the quarterback of the team, and like I said, it's the same way when you're winning. You get a lot of credit too. So it just comes with the territory, and that's something I've experienced in my career, going back to college, and especially the past 2 years in the NFL. So it's something I wouldn't say not necessarily used to, but I am kind of used to, and just the ups and downs of the criticisms of when you have great games and you have bad games. And for me, that doesn't change anything. I only care about really the opinions of my coaches, my teammates, and obviously myself and how I view my performance. And there's a lot of areas I can improve on, and I know moving forward for us to win a lot of these games down the stretch, I'm going to have to play better, and I fully accept all that, take ownership of it, and I'm ready just to move forward and do that.
How much did you know of Calvin Ridley before yesterday, and how much do you know about him today?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know too much about him. I've watched him, and he's a great player. So obviously that's exciting moving forward, and next season being able to have a guy like that here. And I've heard some good things from people that know him, and so I don't know him personally, but it's just as far as what I've heard good things, and heard he loves the game. And obviously you watch his tape, it speaks for itself. So that'll be an exciting thing, next season to look forward to.
Can you reach out to him, or will you reach out to him between now and February, or will you just wait to let that play out and get him when he
I'm sure, I'm sure we'll talk before then. Right now, obviously, we're focused on finishing this season strong. We got 9 games left, and he can't come help us now. We got the guys that we got, and got a lot of faith in them, and just trying to put together as many wins in a row as we can here at the end of the season, and put ourselves in a spot to make the playoffs and all that. So that's what we're focused on. I'm sure we'll talk at some point. Obviously, that's exciting. Being a quarterback, you can't not be excited about that, but right now, we're focused on the rest of the season that's ahead of us.
I know you guys really weren't in the locker room or at practice yesterday, Trevor, but, do you guys text when you hear the news? Did you guys talk as a team? Kind of what was the reaction in the locker room when they heard about the trade? Yeah,
obviously, we weren't here, but just I talked to some of the guys, and guys are excited, but also, there's some guys that played with them. Cam played with them. I talked to him a little bit, so he's good friends with them, and guys are excited, but also it's not a huge topic of discussion right now, just because we're in the middle of a season. Obviously, trying to put everything we can towards beating the Raiders this week. So that's the main focus. But yeah, of course there was some talk about it today, and guys are excited. Yeah, for sure.
When you run, I think the last couple weeks you've run on the field late or whatever, and the cameras have caught that. What does that mean?
Oh, it's like at the beginning of a series.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the hash. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just the left hash.
Okay.
So yeah, nothing crazy there.
For the right hash.
Right hash, just point down. If I'm by it, I'll point over
It's
to
like
it.
bike signals,
Middle.
right? Like turn signals.
Middle, just
Okay. Well, people
usually they get it, but sometimes they don't, so I have to do it for a while. But yeah,
just wondering.
Nothing crazy.
Trevor, as far as the red zone goes, obviously, similar situation with the interceptions, the one in the Texans game.
Yep.
When that moment happens, how as much as incompletions, other mistakes, you know, you put them behind you, you're on to the next play. That one in particular, how hard was it to push that one to the side and go to the next play?
You know, I mean, it's definitely frustrating. Obviously, you make a critical error like that, and that point in the game, you know, we're up 7-0, and you think about how would that change the game if we end up scoring on that drive and make it 14-0 and really kind of take the life out of their sideline and kind of keep all the momentum. I think that's the most frustrating thing when you look back on it and just how the game changes. But playing this position, just playing this sport, it's all about the next play. So, you know, I think that's something I've had to learn in my career is how to move on to the next play. Like, you're going to have some bad plays, and obviously that one's just, you know, that one's not acceptable. Just the situation, we gotta eliminate those. So I'm obviously learning my lessons there and moving forward, not going to make that mistake. And so it's frustrating, but at the same time, I think that was in the first quarter. So you got 3 more quarters to play, and you got to do your best to not let that affect the rest of the game. So I don't necessarily feel like it did. You know, I know I didn't play a great game really from that point forward, but really don't necessarily think that was from that play. I just think that obviously some things happened, didn't play my best ball, and that's disappointing. But you know, as far as just moving on, I think that's something that I've learned kind of the past year and a half, and even before that, is just the importance of being able to do that, because you can't get that play back. So
Flying back from London, does it feel like normal West Coast trip? Do you feel, like the coach went light today?
it's not too bad. I don't think it's as bad coming back, honestly. The time change going there is a little bit wild, just your body kind of adjusting to it. But I felt pretty good since, you know, we got back Monday morning really early, and I felt weird Monday, but yesterday and today I felt pretty normal. So just getting back in the flow of things. Coach has a good schedule for this week, and just the best way to get us prepared to where we're at our best on Sunday. So we had a great day today, and tomorrow will kind of be, you know, business as usual.
What do you see from the Raiders? Are they kind of in a similar spot as you guys, where they're playing well at times, but just kind of struggling to finish?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, I focus more on the on the defensive side of the ball, so I don't always see the complete game necessarily. But just from a defensive perspective, they pose some challenges for us. Obviously, the 2 guys on the edge they got some backers that are flying around. So I mean, they have some great players. So there'll be some things that we got a game plan for, and we'll have a great plan for them. But yeah, I think you look at the league right now and where everybody's at. There's a lot of people in kind of in this similar, like, middle of the pack feel, where this is kind of the time to separate. And November is obviously a huge month, November and December, to set yourself up for the postseason. So, you know, the way we're looking at it, there's still everything in front of us, but it's time to really turn it on, and we got to go on a run here to put ourselves in position. And they're one of those teams, same position. So both of us were playing for a lot, and I'm sure you're gonna see that Sunday.
Is that one of the biggest differences from college, is kind of how much parity there is around the league and how many teams are maybe in a similar spot?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, you know, you got a lot of teams that are it's such a long season too. So you see the ebbs and flows of the season. You'll see teams start off hot, struggle a little bit, and finish strong, or vice versa. You know, start off slow, kind of gain some momentum, and then, you know, so it's a long season, and you have to play. Each game is its own game, and you got to play it. You got to play it as such, and really, it's week to week, and it doesn't really matter who you're playing. Everybody's good, and everybody's gonna have a great plan to go and beat you. So you got to just be prepared, and I think obviously that's been the message, but even more so now. Sitting here, we got 9 games left. Take it one at a time, and let's just try to go 1-0 each week and see where we're at.
Did you sense any more frustration this past weekend after the loss than the previous 4?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way it's gone, just obviously each game has been kind of its own story of what's happened, but still the same message of just right there and losing by, you know, possession or whatever it may be. And obviously that starts to bubble up. People start to get frustrated, you know, because we know. Well, I've said it before, and, you know, kind of sick of saying it, but we know we're a good team. But at the end of the day, you got to go win. And I think obviously for myself, so I was frustrated for a couple days after the game, and even carrying into today, like, just give us that edge to go back and work, just because I feel like I didn't, or I know I didn't give us the best chance to win and put us in a situation, and I'm disappointed in that. And, you know, guys work too hard for that. So from my standpoint, is just what can I do to go play my best football moving forward? And I think that's what everybody's feeling. But yeah, there's definitely frustration, and guys talk about it. I think that's the great thing about our team is guys communicate. It's not, you don't just put on a smile and act like everything's all right. It's not. We've lost 5 in a row, and everybody's pissed and frustrated, but not at each other. There's no pointing the finger, but we all understand and have had that dialogue of what we need to do, and everybody knows what we need to do, and we just got to go do it.
Trevor, when you hand the ball off or pitch it or throw it to Travis, do you kind of sit back and then almost become a fan? The cuts he makes, the moves he makes, and I know you've been watching it for a long time, but is is it kind of a fun for you to watch this unfold with him?
Yeah, I think just obviously, like you said, I've seen him before, played with him this is my 4th year now, and I know the type of player he is, but just to kind of see everybody start to realize it, and obviously guys on the team knew he was a good player, but I'd never really seen it because of the injury last year, and then obviously in training camp and OTAs, you don't really get to see it because you're not live, it's not real game tempo, and you don't get that flow of a season, to see it week in and week out. So it's been cool to see everybody realize, like, man, this dude is legit. So I think that's how everybody's feeling right now around the league, and certainly our whole team and staff have a lot of confidence in him, and just continuing to put the ball in his hands and let him make plays. That's what he does best, and it's been exciting to watch him. So.
Your leadership style, Trevor, for you personally, I know we talked with you about maybe you're not like a rah-rah, like screaming in people's faces, like that's not your MO. So how important is it for you, like one-on-one conversations versus like leading a pregame huddle? Like for you, how do you approach leadership?
Yeah, I think obviously leading by example is the main thing. I think the way you prepare, the way you carry yourself, how you handle your business, that's the main thing. Guys have to respect you. And I think that with any leader, and really just anyone on the team in general, everyone leads in their own regard, but I think that's the first thing. And then obviously how you communicate with others, that's something that I feel like I've learned a lot about the last 2 years, and just kind of how I like to do things, how I approach guys on the team, and everybody's different. You have a different way of talking to all the different players, and you get to know them through your relationships, and you kind of understand what makes them tick. And so that's something I feel like I do well, is communicate with guys constantly, whether it's guys up front, receivers, tight ends, running backs, always talking to them, after each play, each series, especially in practice. So that's something I think is very important. And then just being able to get the guys together, and whether that's before a game or whatever, I think too we have a great group that really communicates with each other. So we got a lot of conversations like after this game. Us, myself, and a bunch of the wideouts just talking about, what can we all do better moving forward? Like, how can we be at our best and really just help this offense go, the team go, and kind of turn this corner, because we're right there, but we got to find some answers. So we just had some great conversations, and just we're being honest with each other. What we all can do better, and that's kind of what it takes. And so I'm excited moving forward, and that's kind of the way I look at it.
Sorry.
No, you're good, Mark.
Where does that conversation happen? Those conversations with the whiteouts?
I think just after the game, especially on road trips,
Okay.
get together, whether it's on the bus after the game, driving to the airport, or on the plane, or both. I kind of usually talk to the whiteouts on the bus, we'll get together after games, and then talk to a bunch of the linemen kind of on the plane. It's not always about ball. It's kind of just, obviously you talk through the game, and especially when you lose one like that and you're all frustrated. I think that's the best way I've found to kind of get through it. Just get with your guys, talk about it. Those are the only people that really know how you're feeling, know what you're feeling. We're in it with you, and I think that's been something that's been really good for this team that we've done. So we were always talking, and then after that, we kind of flush it. Like, I always watch it real quick in the plane. I'll talk to some of the guys real quick, but we flush it and move on. And I think that's what you have to do, because at the end of the day, you got another game in a few days. So.
Was this something?
Last one.
Was this something you did at Clemson, or is that something you've learned? Were you when you were at Clemson? Obviously, you weren't necessarily hopping on the plane or the bus quite the same way as this, but was that something you did? Did you find in your college career that you've applied, or is this something you've learned in the last year and a half?
Yeah, not as much. It's the travel and the technology and kind of all this stuff's a little different in college. It's not as instant. I can watch the game right when I get on the bus after an away game, after doing media, talking to you guys. I can grab my iPad and watch the game. So I don't remember it being like that in college, and really just communication was a little bit different. I think you relied more on the coaches in college to have those talks with guys, and and obviously I'm sure there were times where I'd grab a guy and talk to him about this or that, but I think that's just something that we've all kind of, myself included, taken upon ourselves to have those talks. Because at the end of the day, we're the ones out there playing. The coaches coach, and they make great game plans, and Obviously, they're a huge part to our success, but at the end of the day, us 11 that are on the field got to be on the same page, and I really feel like we're growing closer and closer, and we just gotta go get one and get some momentum back. So,
Cool. Thanks.
yep,
Trevor,
thank y'all.
appreciate it.
Thank you.